Hello, fellow yoga students at home or wherever you are. Happy to see you're back. And if you're new, welcome to Yoga Wednesday noon yoga class. Today's class is called Baby Grasshopper. And the focus today is paying careful attention. So I know that when we're home and we're not surrounded by other yoga students, it's easy to get distracted. And that's normal. But I'm hoping we can all focus for the next period of time on paying attention to ourselves, to our bodies, to the yoga class. I was reading an article last night about some of the new information on the quarantine and COVID-19, and it seems that now there's a syndrome called quarantine fatigue, which I think most of us are feeling. And the antidote to that is to go outside. They're finding that if we're outside socializing or hiking or running or gardening, that we have a lot less chance of exposure to the virus. And that led me to a poem, one of my favorite poems. It's called The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. I didn't like this poem for the first few years that I only heard the last stanza. Because it made me feel guilty that I wasn't doing enough in my life. Let me read the last two stanzas of this poem. Well, wait, before that, let's find a comfortable posture to sit in, because we're centering and approaching our yoga class. Paying attention to your breath. Relax whatever you can. Relax your mind, your shoulders, your neck and your jaw, whatever you're feeling, wherever you're feeling tension, see if you can relax that. And feel the earth under where you're touching the floor or the grass, and lift up through the crown of your head. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Well, that was the end of Mary Oliver's poem, The Summer Day, and I interpret it to mean that we need to pay attention to every minute that we can. Go outside, kneel in the grass, come inside and take a yoga class right now. Okay, so close your eyes. Become aware of your breath. Pay attention to your breath. Follow your breath into and out of your lungs, out of your body. Relax your forehead. Allow the edges of your lips to turn up in a little smile or a big smile. And feel that smile through your entire body if you can. I'm going to ask you to choose one area of your body for this practice, some area that is calling for your attention. It might be your hips, it might be the worries in your mind, it could be your thumb. And then with your next in-breath, draw your attention right to that place with a positive thought. Bring comfort to that spot. Maybe bring strength, whatever you need, calmness. And for the next few breaths, breathe into that area that you've chosen. Deepen and smooth your breath. Set an intention to pay attention throughout this practice today. You can always draw your attention back when it wanders. You might need to draw it back 1,000 times, maybe only 900 times. Can you hear your breath? All right, blink your eyes open, wiggle around a little bit, and let's come into knee pile or Gomukhasana legs. So cross your right, fold your right knee, bend your right knee, and then bring your left knee somewhat on top. Now, if this is too uncomfortable for you right now, you can always straighten that bottom leg. That would be the right leg, and sit like this. And we're going to go into a neck release pose while we're here. Start by breathing in and getting nice and tall. Exhale and let that left buttock sink down a little bit closer to the floor. Draw your breath into those hips or wherever you're feeling this particular pose. Then bring your right fingertips out to the floor. Inhale, draw your left arm up, stretching up, opening up the side body there, the left ribs. Big breath in. As you exhale, come into a side bend to the right, so your head's coming to the right. Drop your right ear toward your right shoulder, not bringing your right shoulder up, but letting it come down in a neck release pose. And find that same breath that you found in the centering. Look down at the floor, maybe by your right thumb. So you can open up a little bit of the back of the neck here, release the head. And then as you like, at your own tempo, you can leave your head looking down or you can slowly rotate it up so your left ear is right over your right ear. Breathe into those left ribs. Draw the right shoulder blade down. Second phase of the pose, we're going to bring the left arm up and reaching those fingers out, bring it out to the side, palm down. And now it's a little more active neck release. You're reaching out with your fingers and letting your head go. Find that smile again. Bring your attention to your neck. And now, not lifting your head, use your left fingertips to reach out, bring your torso up, and then you can take your right hand and help your head come up so you're not using those muscles. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, relax. A little bit of a twist here. Left fingertips behind you, right hand gently on the left knee. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, just make it a nice little twist. Moving your body, your front of your body to your left, shoulders down. Waggle your head back and forth so you're not wrenching the neck in this pose. You can feel the pose in the spine and not the neck. Inhale, come back to center. Big breath in. Exhale, twist in the other direction. Activate your feet. Inhale, come back to the center. Shoot your legs straight out to the front. Shake them around a little bit. And now bend the left knee, bringing the left heel over toward the right buttock, and the right knee on top. This side might feel different. This side is tighter on me. If you're finding that that's not comfortable, you can straighten the left leg and sit up. Just so you're not bunched over, I want you to be able to sit up in this pose. Here we go. Interlace your fingers around that knee. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, bring your left fingertips out to the floor. Inhale, right arm comes up, stretching that side body, lifting the ribs right up off the hips. And then with your next exhalation, find the side bend. And here we go on the other side. Find your breath. How are those shoulder blades doing? Is that left shoulder hitched up around the left ear? Draw it down. And now look down. Opening up the back of the neck, opening up the right ribs. Find a nice opening, like a tulip opening in the sunlight. Nice opening of the ribs and the lungs. And you can slowly rotate your head so you're looking right forward. Relax the right buttock toward the floor. With an inhalation, bring the right arm up and reach it out to the side at an angle for the neck release. So now you're reaching all the way out with those fingertips and releasing the right side of the neck a little bit more. Remember, if that's uncomfortable, you can always tilt your head down a little bit, just to find a place where you can open up the neck muscles. It helps me to realize those muscles are low. They can be all the way back in the top of the spine. It isn't just the neck. Find where they connect with the spine. Come back to your beautiful big yogic breath. And then without using your head to pull you up, use those right fingers to come up and your left hand to bring you all the way up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right. Waggle your head around a little bit so you're not wrenching that neck like a dish rag. Lifting your ribs right up off your hips. With an inhalation, come back to center, get nice and tall, and then exhale, find a little twist to the left this time. Drawing the belly around, drawing the heart around, not necessarily twisting the head. Inhale and come back. Bring your legs out to diamond pose. Rock them around a little bit. Let's do some ab work now. Elbow to knee. So come down to your backs. Interlace your hands behind your head all the way up to the webbing. Lift your elbows up. Find that cradle for your head and rock around a little bit so you can relax those shoulder blades onto the floor. Now, one way to do this ab work is to leave your feet on the floor. You're welcome to do that, or during the pose, you can always bring them down. If you'd like to do the full pose, lift up your ankles, make a right angle with your feet, with your legs, flex your feet. Be sure your knees are way up here. You can bring them right above your hips. Inhale and lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Exhale. Big breath in. Pause your breath. Draw your back down to the floor. Exhale, reach out your right leg and draw your elbows up toward your left knee. Inhale, come back to beginning, but leave your head and shoulders off the floor. Pause your breath. Draw your back down. Exhale, left leg extends and elbows come up near the right knee. Inhale, come back to the center. Big breath in. Pause your breath. Draw the small of your back down to the floor. Exhale, other side. Reaching out with the inner arch. Inhale, back to the center. Pause your breath, adjust your back. Exhale, press the left foot out. Press out through the inner seam of your leg. Inhale, come back. Big breath in. Press your back down to the floor. Keep it down to the floor as you exhale to the other side. Curl your tailbone up. Inhale, come back to the center. Pause your breath. Take your small of your back down to the floor. Exhale, other side. Curl your tailbone up. Inhale, come back. Pause your breath. Draw your back down. Exhale. Extend out through that leg. Inhale, come back to the center. Big breath in. Pause your breath. Draw your smaller lower back down. Exhale. Now left leg goes out, or whichever leg you're on now. Inhale, come back. Exhale, bring your head down. Bring your feet down. Bring your feet together. Release your hands from behind your head and let your knees fall out. Bring your palms to your inner legs up near the groin and just gently push them left and right. Just rock your hips a little bit. You might find it's right up by the groin, the warmth of your hands feel good. And then release your hands, palms up to the floor. Goddess pose. Release. Let's do one bridge. Feet at hip width apart. Reach your fingers down toward your back of your heels or however far they reach. Turn your palms up. And then I don't want you to scrunch your shoulder blades together. I want your shoulders to be relaxed here. Press down with both feet. Inhale. Exhale, curl your tailbone up and start to lift your hips, drawing the knees forward toward the front of your mat. You don't need to go very far. Come on up into bridge pose and lengthen the belly. And breathe. How are your feet? Are they equally placed on the floor, left foot and right foot? Are you slopping over onto the outsides of your feet, which I found I was doing? Come onto the four-cornered feet. And draw your knees and your tailbone forward. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, draw your tailbone toward your knees. Inhale, draw your chest up, closer to your nose. Exhale, tailbone goes toward the back of the knees. Breathe in this pose, bridge pose. And with your exhalation, slowly come down one section of the back at a time. It might take you more than one breath. Enjoy every section as it comes down. And then reach your legs out when you're there and rest in Shavasana. We're not finished with the class, but we're going to take a little Shavasana here in the middle. Breathe and pause. Okay, roll to one side. Come up with a nice soft neck. Let's come back to knee pile, because I forgot something. Doesn't matter which knee you're bending first to bring the other knee to the top. Inhale and get tall. Exhale. A little bit of cat and cow. We're doing some pelvic tilts here. So first, lift up your tailbone and bring your pubic bone down as you come into a little back bend. Exhale, come into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to neutral. Now, bringing your tailbone up and your pubic down a little bit so you're sticking your tailbone back towards you. I want you to come into a little bit of a forward bend here. We're going to be working a lot on forward bends today. So you might be feeling this in your outer hip flexors. That's where I feel it. Maybe your fingertips will reach the floor. I want you to keep drawing that pubic bone down, pressing your butt back toward the wall behind you, and then you can roll right over. Let your head dangle. Breathing into those hips. And then walk yourself back up. Let's switch to the other side, starting by a nice upright position. Once again, cat and cow. Inhale, bringing your chest up and sticking your butt out. Exhale, curl over. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And then remember cow. Remember how your bottom of your pubic bone is pointing down and your tailbone's reaching out, and come into just a little forward lean. Maybe that's what you're ready for right now. You don't need to come into a full forward bend. And pay attention to what you're feeling here. Your muscles might be gripping. They might be aware that something might happen, and so they're trying to protect themselves. So do what you can to just find the right place where your muscles can open up and they aren't trying to guard. Finding your own forward bend in knee pile. Full deep breath. And with an inhalation, walk yourself up. Because we're going to be working on a beginner arm balance today, I want our wrists to be warmed up. So we're going to work on the wrists right now. So come up onto your knees and might as well turn your toes under so we get our feet stretched out a little bit. Sitting up. Spread your palms out. Spread them out so you can really feel that. Now, face your palms toward the front of the room. Spread those fingers out. Come forward a little bit. And put your fingers and maybe your thumb down on the floor. That first knuckle, the knuckle that's right below your fingernails, maybe that's only what's pressing. And breathe into this pose. The more your fingers are spread away, the more that those wrist muscles can open. And maybe as your muscles release, perhaps the heel of your hand is coming close to the floor, but do not force it. Reach your hips back a little bit. See how that feels. Straighten your arms. Maybe bring your heart forward. Find your breath. And then release that. And let's do the other side. So spreading out those fingers. Now you're going to turn the mason jar lid so that the little fingers are coming together. Mine don't come all the way together, but they're turned in. Spread out the fingers again, straighten your arms, and start playing with this. Finding some different spots in your forearms, in your wrists, in your palm. Bring your heart forward, and then bring your hips back. Bring a lot of breath and attention into where you're feeling this pose. Release. Now dip your fingers down, spread them out. Bring the backs of your hands to the floor. And we'll find the same action here. You're gently and slowly moving around a little bit and finding some more spots in your wrist and your forearms. You might as well draw your belly up while you're at it. Drop your head. Inhale and come back. Sit on your heels. I think your attention right now might be in your arches or in the sole of your foot. This is a really good practice. Just strengthen the arch, works on the plantar fascia. Okay, one more. You can come onto the tops of your feet if that feels better. Now bring your hands to either side of your knees. Spread them out. And now you're rocking forward. And this is the last wrist work that we'll do today. So find that place, moving around a little bit. I find it's working the back of my hands a little bit, especially between the thumb and the index finger. Find your breath. Bring your attention to that area. Okay, so come on to your toes again. I gotta move up. I've got a little ridge there I have to get off of. And bring your fingertips back to a little bit of a back bend here. Lift your knees up. Are you on all 10 toes? And then see if you can move yourself forward into a toe balance. And with an inhalation, using your back of your thighs and your butt muscles, stand on up. Inhale, exhale. And now we're coming down to the floor again for dolphin pose. So come down to hands and knees. I like to bring my sleeves up so I get a really good purchase on the yoga mat here. Elbows and knees. Grab onto your upper arms. Give them a good squeeze. Show them some attention. And then you can bring your hands out and clasp them in front of you for more support, or your forearms could be in parallel with your nice fingers spread out. And then lean into those forearms and hands. Arch your back up so your head can just hang free. Use the muscles in your upper back and your shoulders to lift your head farther off the floor. Turn your toes under and lift your knees up just a little bit so they're still bent. This is a bent leg dolphin, and I want you to think about bringing your chest closer to your thighs, keeping the head off the floor. Find the support of your forearms. We'll be working a lot with hamstrings today in the back of the leg, so you could start straightening one leg a little bit and then the other. Only go as far as your legs are ready to go now into dolphin pose. You can have your knees bent, your legs straight. Keep your neck relaxed. Come back to that breath. And then bring your knees down. Come into embryo pose or child's pose, whichever feels better to you. Let your forehead rest on the floor and release the back. Release the lower back and the shoulders. Where is your attention right now? Bring it to your body, bring it to your practice. Okay, so time for salutations. You can stand up whichever way you want. Coming up, stepping to the front of your mat. Let's do A salutations. Mountain pose. Big breath in. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, arms overhead. Bend your knees, release down to forward bend. Keep your knees bent here. We're going to stay in forward bend for a little while. Rock back and forth a little bit. Lift your toes. Shake your head around. Keep that neck released. Bend your knees enough so that maybe your chest will be down on your thighs. If it isn't, that's okay. Pick up your right foot. Bring your right knee down behind you. Come onto the top of that foot. And then with a big inhalation, come up into Anjaneyasana with a smile. Pause your breath. Bring your fingertips and hands down to the floor. Pick up that back knee. Move back to plank. Good strong plank. We're going to breathe a couple breaths in plank. Find your strength. Inhale, bring your knees down. Reach your heart and crown of your head forward. in half plank. Exhale, come slowly down. Bring yourself all the way down. Shoulders away from the ears. Elbows under your shoulders. Lift them up a little bit, baby cobra. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and stretch your belly. Exhale, hands back under your shoulders. Keep your shoulders up nice and high where they were in cobra. And lift back to downward dog. And pedal your feet back and forth a little bit. Trot your dog. Come into your downward dog. Lift your belly or your hips up. Inhale, bring the right foot forward near the hands. Left knee down onto the top of the back foot. And this is an inhalation. Asana. Fingertips to the floor. Exhale, step forward to forward bend. Inhale, come on up. Arms overhead. Exhale, palms together. Okay, let's smooth it out. Breathing in. Forward bend. Left knee back. Coming up into Asana. Fingertips to the floor. Plank. Inhale, knees down. Exhale, lower your body down to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Bring your heart forward through the gate of your arms. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Moving on up into Asana. Exhale, step forward to down dog. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale. I'll move out of the way of that one orchid. V salutations. Starting out with chair pose. So standing in Tadasana mountain pose. Let's breathe a little bit here. Okay, exhale. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward bend. Bring your hands to your ankles or your thighs. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Step one foot back into the other into plank. If you feel warmed up enough to come down through chaturanga, go ahead. If not, knees first. Lower down. Salambasana locust pose. Bring your hands to either side of your hips. With an inhalation, lift. Let knees and ankles, maybe even the thighs and the chest. Keep looking down so the back of your neck stays released. Hands back under your shoulders. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale. Inhale, bring your right foot forward a little bit for pyramid pose. So look down at your feet, have them both pointing forward, and then come on up so both legs are straight. Bring your fingertip, your index fingers right into the hip crease here. Get nice and tall. Okay. So I'm going to come into a forward bend. We don't have blocks, at least I don't have blocks. So we're just going to take it really slowly. Straightening both legs. Inhale and come forward just a little bit. Actually, my my fingers are here. I'm pushing the right hip crease back so that I keep my hips even. And I'm working my way to the place where my left heel wants to come off the floor. Come back to where it doesn't come off the floor. And if you want to bring your hands to your thigh or your shin, or even to the floor, here we are, pyramid pose. Keep slicing that right hip crease back. Moving into standing splits. I'm going to bend that front knee and bring my fingertips a little forward. Then I'm going to lift the left leg up and keep it nice and straight into standing splits. Reaching that left toe back and up as far as you can. Good leg strengthening here for both legs. Keep breathing. Bend the front knee forward. Bring the left foot back and move right up into Warrior One pose. Fingertips to the floor, step back to plank. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin down. Salambasana, that boat pose again. Okay, we're working the backs of the thighs, the glutes, the butt muscles. Tense those up a little bit and feel what work. This is really good work for your back. Palms back under your shoulders. Keep your shoulders high and come back to downward dog. Okay, bringing the left foot forward. Is that right, Arnold, do you think? Am I on the other side?
I'm sorry.
Come on up. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Both legs are straight. Hands are at the hip crease. Inhale and lengthen. Feel the power in your legs here. And then slowly bringing your heart forward and reaching up through the crown of your head. Come into just a little bit of a forward bend. And readjusting the hips. Maybe pushing the left crease back a little bit. Can you lift all 10 toes up off the floor? Finding those places in your feet that are touching. Lift up the arches. And then if you like, you can release your hands. If you had 2 blocks, you could use them to your thigh or your shin or maybe the floor. Standing splits. I like to bring my fingertips a little forward, bend the front knee, and then lifting the right leg up. Here we are, standing splits. If you want to bring your fingers back closer to the standing foot, that's fine. Maybe you could grab onto that ankle. And then releasing back to Warrior One. So the right leg reaches back, front knee is bent at a right angle, and here we are, Warrior One pose. Bring your fingertips down to the floor, step forward to half forward bend. So you're bringing your right foot forward and you're coming halfway up. Full forward bend. Bend your knees, drop your hips, push into the floor with your heels as you come up into chair. Lengthen the side body. Exhale, standing again in mountain pose. Okay, the name of the class is Baby Grasshopper. It's a pose that I hadn't seen before. I just discovered it this morning and I like it. And it goes along with Mary Oliver's poem, which I'll read to you in Shavasana. So come down to the floor. Extend your left leg. Bend your right knee. I better be facing you for the start. And bring the sole of your right foot somewhere along the inside of your left knee. And sit up nice and tall. Keep this left leg active. Inhale and get tall. Exhale, start coming forward gently into a forward bend, thinking more, instead of bending over, thinking of extending the upper body outward, bringing the heart forward, bringing the crown of the head forward. Notice what is drawing your attention. Keep that left foot, leg active. This is called Janu Shirshasana. Find your beautiful deep breath. And then walk yourself back up. I'm going to turn sideways now. Pick up your right foot, cross it over the top of your left leg, and put the foot down on the floor. Keep that left leg active. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, bring your right fingertips behind you, and you can hook the right knee with your elbow. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, come into a twist. If you like, you can draw the left elbow to the outside of the knee if that feels better. But think mostly about lengthening on the inhale. On the exhale, release into the twist. And with an inhalation, come out of that twist and come right into the counter twist. So your right arm is going to kind of come around to the inside of your right bent knee. Left fingertips are behind and get nice and tall in this counter twist. Smile. Okay, come on back to the center. I think I need to show this to you this way. You might want to, well, we'll do it together. So you've got that right foot there. Bring your left hand, scoot it out a little way from your hip, and then off to the left a little bit. And put your whole hand down there. Okay, now turn the right foot more forward, so you might come up off of that right buttock. That's okay. With the right hand, you're going to reach over and maybe you can grab onto your shin. Maybe you can grab onto the outside of that left foot. In either case, you can lift that foot up. And this might be where your grasshopper is. This is Baby Grasshopper. If you want to bring it in to an arm balance, you're going to be standing on this right foot. So bring your weight to that and the arm, lean forward, maybe lift your butt up, and here we are, Baby Grasshopper, and breathe. Do I look like a grasshopper? And release. Bring your legs out to the front and shake them around. Okay, I started on my good side, so let's try it on this other side. Starting out in Dandasana, bend the left knee, keep the right leg active. Bring the sole of the left foot into the inner right knee and get really nice and tall in this pose. Telescoping the ribs off the hips. And then come forward. Remember at the beginning of the class we talked about taking the bottom of the pubic bone down and lifting up the tailbone? That's what we're doing here. Pelvic tilt the other way. Keep that right leg active. And now we're going to spin maybe 10 breaths in this pose. So find your way slowly into the pose. It's a forward bend, Janu Shirshasana. Keep breathing. Pay attention. Active right leg. Find those muscles in the back of your leg. Yeah. Gentle them into release. With an inhalation, walk back up. Bring the left foot around to the outside of the right leg. Get nice and tall again. And let's move into the twist. So this time we're twisting to the left. You can hook your elbow around and bring the left hand, or If today's working for you, you can hook the elbow around to the inside and get a little traction. Get nice and tall with your inhale. Are those shoulders away from your ears? And with an inhalation, come gently out of that twist into the counter twist. We almost had the Persian cat in here. Did she come through? She's walking around out of camera sight. She's getting camera shy. And breathe. Falcor. Here, kitty. Inhale and come back. Now we're going to prepare for baby grasshopper on this side. So take your right hand right against your right buttock, bring it out, and then bring it forward and then out to the side a little bit. And that's might be where you want to be. Now this left foot turns forward, so that just brings my whole body forward. Left arm can come around and grab onto your shin or anywhere. If you have the flexibility, you can bring it to the outside of the foot. There we go. And this could be a nice grasshopper right here or right here. Find a happy grasshopper. I don't know really where the elbows are of the grasshopper. Okay, so leaning forward, you're going to be standing on that left foot, and it's a right arm balance. So come forward, and as you press into the floor, your hip will lift up, and here we are, baby grasshopper. Breathe. And then release. That might be a new pose for you. It was for me. It's very fun. Diamond pose. Heels and feet together. Nice and a nice diamond. And then just let yourself roll down into a nice arched back. And release. Yeah. Let's do one more twist before Shavasana. So lying on your back, we'll do twisted root, and we'll get a little bit of an inversion here. So legs straight up in the air. Push up with your heels. And why don't you flex and point your feet, roll your ankles a little bit. Relax. Legs wide out into a nice wide V. Cross the right knee over the left knee, so you're scissoring that way. And now draw your knees to your chest. And maybe you can hook that right foot around the inside of your left ankle. If you can't, that's okay. Here we are. This maybe looks more like a grasshopper to you. Breathe in. Breathe out and let your knees fall to the right side in a nice twist. Release. Calming the nervous system after our vigorous practice today. With an inhalation, bring your knees back in, straighten your legs up, scissor kick. And now left knee comes in front of right knee and maybe wraps all the way around. Big inhalation. Exhale now, bring your knees over to the left side, opening up the right side of the body. Find the trust for this pose, not efforting. Okay, with an inhalation, come back. Maybe you just want to roll your knees around in a big circle and the other way. And then get yourself set up for Shavasana. Lying on your back if you like. finding a good position. The key to Shavasana is staying in yoga. This is an important pose so we can pay attention to our own relaxation. Let your breath return to its normal cadence and feel heavy and languid. Here's the full poem by Mary Oliver, The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? If you're having a wonderful Shavasana and you'd like to continue it, go ahead, you're home. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle around a little bit, waking up, but not too much awake, so you can stay relaxed. Give yourselves big hugs by drawing your knees into your chest and really squeeze. Hug yourself like you mean it. Release your hands, roll to one side, and remember that soft, relaxed neck as you come back up to seated. Bring your palms together. May we all learn to be comfortable with being idle and being blessed. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in.